Okay, today we are, well, not today, just right now, we're a little tired. So, we might take it a little slower than usual, but we'll start with the library, a catalog of wonders. Flip to a page, we're going to flip to a page near the beginning this time. Here we go. If we search back through history to find the very first codex, we can point to several contenders for that honor. Starting in 1978, Australian and North American archaeologists excavated the Dakhale oasis in the Sahara. They found an accounts book that dated from the 4th century. The book has been called the earliest complete example of a codex. Each of its thin wooden leaves, 13 by 33 centimeters, was bored with 4 holes on the left side to be bound with cord into 8-leaf gatherings. The effect was not unlike the even earlier tablet books that ancient Greeks carried on their belts as a signifier of learning. Made by hinging clay, wood or metal tablets together into diptych or polypitch, these stiff books and Dakhale wooden version are not true codices, but they helped prove the concept. Another proto-codex in the classical era was made with sheets of papyrus, stabbed and laced at one end. Cicero, in his Epistles to Atticus, 56 BC, suggested that papyrus sheets may also have been glued into codex form. The poet Martial, in his 1st century Apophareta, praised the compactness of the codex format and commended it to his readers in words that later sellers of pocket classics and paperbacks would also use. Assign your book boxes to the great. This copy of me one hand can grasp. Whether stabbed or glued, such brittle papyrus codices could only ever be a temporary solution. The first recognizably modern codices were with strong and flexible parchment pages did not arrive until around 100 AD, or perhaps a little later. That model was perfected over subsequent centuries, probably in an early monastic workshop. An inventive binder fastened gatherings of parchment leaves to cords, and crucially for strength, to each other. The binder then bounded the sewn gatherings by applying glue to their back. This method resulted in a book block that would hold its shape, open flat on a table, and protect the text when the book was not in use. This right now is probably my fave. I like libraries. Okay, now, because I'm feeling chill, we're going to do a page of Before You Do by T.D. Jakes. We're doing a page near the back. First, you have to know the value of your own chips. Do not think that your intangibles aren't valuable. They are the priceless parts of everything. Get away from luck living or gambling for the things you want and need. Real results require study, research, action, and yes again, faith. Understand that real progress is not made by closing your eyes and wishing. Once you have done the research and invested your chips wisely, I encourage you to live without fear. The Vegas style of living is over for you. Those who remain affixed to such antics almost always end up in regret. Sooner or later, luck changes, and all that they have built collapses in a vortex of disappointment. The only other tip I want to tell you is simple. You will still win some, and you will still lose some, but proceed without fear. It is true that even the investments that seem wisest don't always yield a return, but they are far more likely to do so than wild gambling. I have lost in the stock market, both figuratively and literally, but I have also won big. Take the bitter with the sweet. An occasional loss isn't a sign you are living a Vegas life. Move into your destiny valuing yourself and your time, your opportunities and your influence. Live your life without fear or regret. You have minimized your risk by understanding what you have and by not allowing your investment to continue to depreciate. Today is the day that the Lord has made. God has given it to you. What you do with it is your gift back to your Creator. The Almighty has given you the talents and the time that you have. You are highly favored. As you live wisely, God gets a return on creation, God's investment in you. Make it a big win for yourself and God, and before you do, know the difference between faith and a gamble. And to be a little more complex, we're going to do a page of starting and running a small business for Canadians. Random page. What can your product do? Features refer to all the specifications and characteristics of a product or service, things that you often find listed in a product brochure, user's manual, or the company website. When you group customers based on the product features that they look for, the customers themselves turn out to have a great deal in common. Their similarities include the following: how much they use the product, light, moderate, heavy; how well they use the product, novice, intermediate, expert; what they do with the product, recreation, education, business; and what kind of customers they are, advisors, resellers, or users. For example, WestJet Airlines is a major player in the so-called no-frills segment of the airline business. The company caters to price-sensitive people who travel relatively short distances and who often have to pay for travel out of their own pockets. You can usually find a cheap ticket to fly WestJet, but don't expect a seat assignment in advance. Expect do-it-yourself online seating 24 hours before departure, or more than a package or two of munchies after you board. You do get an easygoing, fun airline that respects you, however. WestJet Airlines customers tend to be different from those of Air Canada, a global full-service carrier at the opposite end of the airline spectrum. Air Canada offers customers frequent flyers and global travelers who expect a hot meal on a 10-hour flight, help with their international connections, and their luggage to arrive when they do, no matter where they are in the world. However, more recently WestJet has added more global destinations, and prices are now similar to Air Canada. Flair Airlines has become Canada's low-cost carrier, based out of Edmonton and including direct flights from Vancouver to Toronto, with baggage fees including for carry-on items. It is a no-frills airline, but very cost-competitive. Okay, today's vid was shorter. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time. Okay, good. Nothing in there.